Hi lovelies, welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel and here is Belly's Gist. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you'll be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real envy. So guys, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to show you guys where someone is about to attack this very demure, very thoughtful of a woman, and this got a lot of people reacting, and I was able to put up some of the stitches. I'm just gonna roll it. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
A rich guy in Washington State is coming for our girl Jules, trying to trademark very demure, very mindful. His name is Jefferson Bates, and this means that she will no longer be able to monetize or make any money off of demure and mindful, and every single thing that makes money from that phrase will go to him. I just saw a video yesterday of her expressing gratitude that she was able to get out of a poverty-stricken situation and help her best friend get out of a terrible living situation. They're going to live together. She could get an apartment of her own. She could help out her family. And now this rich guy from Seattle or Washington State is going to take that away from her. For what? Of course, she's very upset about this, but Jules, there's something you should definitely know. There's a law in the United States called first to use. So if somebody tries to trademark something that everyone knows is yours, you're actually going to come out on top because you were the first to use it. This is the case in New Zealand, Canada, India, Australia, and the United States. So this guy is not going to win. If anyone can find a picture of the real Jefferson Bates and send it to me, I'm going to blast his fucking face everywhere and maybe even dox him. I don't know. I might get silly today. We're behind you, Jules. This is fucked up.
To trademark the phrase, someone just filed an application to trademark the phrase very demure, very mindful, but it wasn't Jules. And while a lot of people are falsely claiming that Jules can no longer use the phrase, I'm going to show you why that's not true and why Jules shouldn't be worried about anything. In fact, it's going to end up messy for the person who filed this. Jefferson A. Bates, I see you. You weren't being very mindful when you filled out this application, but luckily I read the fine print. I see that you're trying to obtain this trademark for advertising, marketing, and promotional purposes. Now, I can tell you were rushing to fill out this application because there was an error in the second address you listed, but you also agreed to the declaration at the end of the application that warned you about the risks of fraud, perjury, but also knowingly providing false information on this application could lead to consequences. Before we get to that, let's back up. What is trademark? A trademark can be many things, such as a phrase, a word, some symbols, a logo. However, it specifically identifies the goods or services you are offering, and it's how customers recognize you in the marketplace and distinguish you from competitors. Trademarks can also serve as legal protection for your brand. However, having a trademark does not mean you own that specific word or phrase and that no one else can use it. That's a huge misconception on TikTok. It's more about how a phrase or a word can be used when delivering specific goods or services. If Jules decides to put out merch that has the phrase very demure, very mindful on it, it can protect her from people who are trying to reproduce that shirt. Now that's why branding and marketing are so important and why I think Jules has done such a good job at branding herself when it comes to demure and mindful. At the core, trademark is really about association, which is why this application is something I don't think Jules should be worried about. No matter who said this phrase first, it could be Jules, Mulan, Selena, or me in 2010. A concept of secondary meaning or acquired distinctiveness actually comes up, legally speaking. So while a lot of you are fighting over who really said it first, we need to be talking about who we associate most heavily with this phrase. Like Jules said, there's enough demurity and mindfulness to go around. And if more and more people start using this phrase, it's essentially going to become generic, meaning no one can have a trademark to this phrase. Going back to the fine print of this application, Jefferson agreed to several things, basically saying that no one else besides you has the right to use this phrase in a commercial setting, especially if they were aware that you used this phrase before they did, which we could probably guess the answer to based on the application date and when Jules started posting all those videos and when they started popping off. You could actually do something about this. So Jules, if you and your team don't know what to do next, here's a bunch of choices you have. Number one, you could drop a merch line with the phrase very demure, very mindful on it. Number two, meeting with a trademark attorney and having them fill out a trademark application with you. In that application, you can claim that you were using this phrase before they were. Additionally, your attorney will probably tell you about something called opposition or being able to refute the application that was filed first, before you. When in reality, you have receipts upon receipts that show prior use of this phrase, you establishing it, you being the face of that brand, and a lot of brands and public figures and celebrities wanting to get in on that. Jules, I'm so proud of you. And like other creators, I'm so happy to see you succeed and get your flowers.
And Jules is going to be just fine. Go back and watch Sean's video. He's amazing, so thorough, so helpful. I just wanted to add on a few things to this whole issue about Jules LeBron and Jefferson A. Bates allegedly getting the trademark for very demure, very mindful. He ain't got it. He has an application. okay, at the United States Patent and Trademark Office. That's all he has. That's not a registration. So before I move forward, I do want to say this is not legal advice. It's just legal information. I just want to make sure I try to help dispel the misinformation that's out there, especially that this man has trademarked the phrase and there's nothing that Jules can do about it. That's just not true. The 4 things I want to go over are geography, distinctiveness, classes, and bases. So I have the application up. I'm looking at it at the USPTO website right now. That application is a public record, meaning that any of you can go and see the same thing that I'm looking at right now to see what I'm talking about. But if I haven't introduced myself, I am Nick Sally. I've been licensed for 14 years. I am the managing attorney at Tastemakers Legal, and we help small businesses get their trademarks registered so that they can grow their brands confidently, avoid copycats stealing their ideas, and also, avoid getting sued. So this is kind of a perfect use case for me to talk about here. Many of the creators I work with are women, BIPOC, and queer like me. And so I previously worked for Facebook for a decade, and I was one of the people who helped to design and build out the trademark reporting system there. And I personally handled over 4,000 of those reports. So I know a little something about trademark law. So geography. US is first to use. Other places are first to file. US is like, hey, you have to be the first person using this trademark in order to have rights to it. You just scroll through Jules' account. You can see that she's been using this consistently on the platform for a while. And that looks good for her. Distinctiveness. I think Very Mindful, Very Demure is a distinctive sounding trademark in connection with the goods and services that are being offered. And that just kind of shows me that this other person just popped up and started copying. That's what it looks like to me. Classes. Listen, if you look on the application, this man has filed for class 35, which is advertising. And the way that it's written, he tried it. No, it's very sloppy, very messy, not very mindful. There is, in my mind, a major class missing from here that Jules needs to hop onto. And, it's not even included in that man's application. The last thing is basis. So we have a 1A and a 1B basis that you can file a trademark application for. 1A, think of that as active, and 1B is an intent to use. This application is an intent to use application, which means that he's saying he intends to use this trademark on some goods and services in the future, but he's not doing it yet. You can't get a trademark registration until you tell the USPTO that, hey, I'm actively selling this and using this trademark because we are a first to use country. So that right there tells you the timeline on this application is going to be extended, because at some point he has to come back and say, I'm no longer a 1B application. I'm actually a 1A application, and I'm actually selling this to someone. So listen, I see a lot of deficiencies in this application, Jules. So please don't cry. Baby girl, don't even waste your tears on this. He's trying to play chess, but he's not. He's not doing a good job. But yes, if there's any other creators out there who are going through this, who want to avoid this and need help, just reach out. I'm actually at this point now doing free 15-minute discovery calls, so you can just get on my calendar. Just go to Tastemakers Legal and pick a day that works for you. I'll be happy to help.
You guys are so good. You guys were able to find out who he is. He's in Washington. I think he's like a trademark pirate, because I guess he's done this before. He's going to continue doing it, but I really do think that he's not going to be able to get it. I mean, he just submitted the application, not just for the word demure, but for the phrase very demure, very mindful. So I think, Jules will get help. I'm not actually that worried anymore. She will be able to do it, because he needs to be able to show that he's the one that started it, and obviously he didn't. So, but I do hope that Jules sees now that people love her. People are just gonna go to bat for her. I mean, I really do think people are a little bit too mad, because I'm actually kind of scared for him. A lot of people just want to do more. So guys, chill. She's gonna be fine. I think we all just kind of freaked out when we saw her crying, but she'll be okay. She'll be able to trademark it, and she'll be able to bring in the bank.
And I feel like I did it wrong. Like, I feel like I didn't try hard enough.
That is so messed up. so messed up that someone has come and trademarked very demure, very mindful. I totally understand how she's feeling. Like, and when I experienced it myself, I was just little old me trying to build a platform, and she's literally popularized very demure, very mindful, and someone has gone to trademark it. Like, wow. But I think she should still submit her application and fight it, because it's global. Everyone knows that this was popularized by her. This is just insane. And you know what's so crazy about it? Like, this person has attempted to, well, you know, start the process of trademarking it, and they're probably not going to even put effort into whatever it is that they were going to do with it. Or they were probably just wanting to hold it as ransom for her to get a lot of money out of her. Because obviously we all know that, you know, this situation has helped her to gain a lot of financial income. Like, there's so much messed up people in this world. And even like, you know, do something like this is insane. But I know that it's actually possible for her to challenge this and win. So I really hope that she gets like the best legal team as possible, or someone reaches out to her that, you know, can really help her and guide her through this, because yeah, this is really sad. And you know, her just feeling like she's done this all wrong and she's not done it all right. Like, honestly, when you start a business or you start something that you're trying to build, there is so much mistakes to learn. And maybe it should have been the first thing she did the very next day when she saw how viral it was going. But I can also imagine that she was getting so many brands reach out to her that she was just trying to get to the bag. Can't really blame her for that. But yeah, this is messed up. So this is just a reminder that if you are trying to build something, try and trademark it if you can, especially if you believe in it, especially if you see that, you know, there's growth, it's going to do well. Just try and get a trademark. Because when I watched this, I thought, not just Jefferson Bakes trying to do print on demand with very demure and very mindful. Like, no.
Okay, so it turns out that very demure, very mindful has been officially trademarked, which means it can be used for like clothing and things like that. However, it was not trademarked by the creator, Jules. It was trademarked by some random guy in Washington. Now, a person by the name of Jefferson Bates in the Washington state area officially trademarked the very demure, very mindful phrase, giving that person complete reign over being able to make merchandise for that statement. Now, obviously, this throws a wrench in Jules' probably next plan when it comes to kind of achieving stardom and making things happen off your brand, because now that entire phrase is completely trademarked. Now, this is a huge lesson in developing anything online and putting it out there to tens to hundreds of millions of people, because when you make something like this, there are going to be so many people that are going to try to take it from you. Whether it's capitalizing on it themselves or trying to sell it back to you, which is what I fear is going to happen here. Now, there's a couple options here, because if she's not willing to fork over basically the ransom money for this trademark, she could just kind of make an adjustment to what she says, and then people who are interested in buying her stuff's gonna know that that's exactly what was created by her and not this other parked trademark. So there's definitely some options here, and I would definitely encourage her to reach out to some sort of patent lawyer or trademark lawyer, and they could absolutely help out in this situation and get her bag. So hopefully she sees this. There's definitely some options here. This is not the end of the line. Absolutely not. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Like, seriously, Liz, I just wish that Jules actually, received the justice that she deserves. This phrase of very demure, very helpful, very thoughtful is something that have taken all over the social media. Like, a lot of people are just using the phrase, and it's something that is just going viral, and it actually began with her using it on her platform, and now a rich man from somewhere decided that he was going to trademark it. Like, I don't get it. I don't know, when someone sees that somebody is about to like go up, someone somewhere will just look for a way to keep on dragging these particular individuals down. Like, nobody have heard about this very demon, very thoughtful, and very, you know, until this young lady decided to start using it, and people have been using it like all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube and all of that. And this got a lot of people, into some kind of actions and communications. But now this young man somewhere decided that okay, he have the means, the finances, and he's up to date, and he wants to trademark it, or he already trademarked it, making the real original character not to actually aim from it. This got people reacting when she took to her platform and was crying that somebody have trademarked it. She won't be able to make anything from it. She talked about her life and how she wanted to but all because some people feels that she is not in a kind of now they want to trademark it. Like, seriously. But I like the way the fact that people are looking into it. A lot of people are stitching, people are commenting, for her not to lose everything. And I just wish that justice will be served and the real owner of it will really be appreciated and also earn from it. Anyway, lovelies, when I saw this, I decided I was gonna put it on here because this has been something that have been going all over social media. Like, she's such a jovial person. I've been following her for, like since the introduction of very Demure, very thoughtful and all of that, and she has been crying out. She cried out to her audience and all of her to help her out. Someone is about to take it out. Someone is about to take all of her, invent. I don't get it. I don't get how a human being can actually create something for your own self. Creativity is something that anyone can, stand up one day and create something. It's not so nice when someone already originated something, then you want to claim it and put a trademark on it. This actually reminds me of Precious. There are so many things, things that is owned and developed and invented by black folks. But because some of these color people feel that, oh, they are not supposed to, invent something, they keep on taking and taking. And now they have done this to their own. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please leave your thought in the comment section of what you think. Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.